the Infinite Empire. Also known as the Hutt Empire, it was the first known galactic-scale government in Star Wars history. It existed during the period from approximately 30,000 to 25,200 BBY and was ruled by the Rakarta, a species of powerful, force-sensitive beings. The Rakarta built their empire through conquest, using advanced force-powered technology, including early hyperspace drives and the infamous Star Forge, a massive space station capable of producing ships and weapons fueled by the dark side of the Force. At its height, the Infinite Empire controlled hundreds of star systems, subjugating numerous species through slavery, brutality, and force-based mind control. Their capital world was Leon, also known as Rakarta Prime. Despite their immense power, the Rakarta became over-reliant on the Force to sustain their technology. Around 25,200, before the Battle of Yavin, a mysterious plague spread across the galaxy, severing most Rakarta from the Force. This triggered the rapid collapse of their empire, as their enslaved populations rose up and overthrew them. After their fall, the Rakarta vanished into obscurity. Their ruins, artifacts, and corrupted technology remained scattered across the galaxy, influencing later dark side users, including those who would rediscover the Star Forge thousands of years later. The Jedi Order was the precursor to both the Jedi and Sith Orders in Star Wars lore. It existed roughly between 36,000 and 25,000 BBY on the planet Tython in the deep core. The Jedi believed in maintaining balance between the light and dark sides of the Force, unlike later Jedi, who focused solely on the light side. They saw the Force as a duality to be embraced, not opposed. Members of the Jedi were skilled in both combat and meditation, trained to understand the Force as a whole. Their mission was to explore the galaxy, prevent Force imbalance, and maintain peace through balance rather than domination. Tython served as their central homeworld, where the Order built great temples and conducted training. Over time, ideological divisions arose within the Jedi. Some favored the light side, others the dark. These tensions eventually led to conflict. Around 25,000 before the Battle of Yavin, these divisions culminated in the Force Wars, a devastating conflict that fractured the Jedi Order and set the stage for the rise of the separate Jedi and Sith orders. Early Sith culture. Early Sith culture began around 100,000 BBY on the remote planet Korriban. The Sith species were a red-skinned, force-sensitive race with a tribal and warlike society. Around 6,900 BBY, exiled Dark Jedi, fleeing the Republic, crash-landed on Korriban and encountered the Sith species. These Dark Jedi interbred with the Sith and taught them the dark side of the Force, fundamentally transforming Sith society. This fusion of native Sith and Dark Jedi created the foundation of the Sith Order, a warrior caste devoted to the dark side. They embraced a hierarchical, militaristic culture centered on power, conquest, and mastery of the dark side. During this era, the Sith built great tomb worlds and temples, including the Valley of the Dark Lords on Korriban, which became sacred ground. This period ended around 6,900 BBY. After the 100-Year Darkness, which began in around 7,000 BBY, came to an end with the Dark Jedi being defeated. This led to the Sith species being incorporated into the first Sith Empire, led by Ajunta Pall. The Jedi Order. The Jedi Order is an ancient organization of force-sensitive individuals dedicated to peace, knowledge, and justice in the galaxy. Its origins date back tens of thousands of years, emerging around the same time as the Jedi Order began to fracture, roughly 25,000 BBY. The Jedi follow the light side of the Force, embracing self-discipline, compassion, and harmony. Their primary mission is to maintain peace and protect the innocent by serving as guardians and diplomats. The Order is structured with ranks including Padawans, Knights, and Masters, governed by the Jedi High Council. Training focuses on mastery of the Force, lightsaber combat, and ethical decision-making. The Jedi defended the Republic in major conflicts, including the Great Hyperspace War, the Great Sith War, and the Clone Wars, the latter of which led to the Order's downfall through Order 66 and Operation Nightfall in 19 BBY. This saw the clones betray their Jedi generals and Darth Vader storm the Jedi Temple after betraying Mace Windu, who was killed by Darth Sidious. Only few survived the Jedi Purge, marking the end of the Order. The First Sith Empire. The First Sith Empire was established around 6,900 BBY following the exile of Dark Jedi, who fled the Republic after the 100-Year Darkness. These Dark Jedi settled on the planet Korriban, homeworld of the native Sith species. Over centuries, the Dark Jedi and Sith species merged their cultures and teachings, creating a powerful dark side-dominated society. The Sith Empire became a vast and militaristic state ruled by Sith Lords, dedicated to conquest and the domination of the galaxy. The first Sith Empire was founded and ruled by Ajunta Pall, a former Dark Jedi turned the first Sith Lord in Star Wars history. In 5000 BBY, the then Sith Emperor, Marka Ragnos, died leaving two Sith Lords, Naga Sato and Ludo Kresh, to fight to rule. Sato won and launched a massive invasion of the Republic, which became known as the Great Hyperspace War. The Sith Empire was defeated by the Galactic Republic. However, its remnants would lay the foundations for all future Sith Empires. Hutt Empire. The Hutt Empire, also known as the Hutt Cartel, is a powerful organized crime syndicate and political entity dominated by the Hutt species. It rose to prominence around 7000 BBY and lasted for thousands of years. Centered in the Outer Rim territories, the Hutt Empire controlled vast territories through a combination of criminal enterprises, including smuggling, slavery, and black market dealings. Its capital was the planet Nal Hutta, and its neighboring moon, Nar Shaddaa, served as a bustling hub for Hutt operations. The Hutts governed through a loose confederation of powerful clans, each led by influential Hutt leaders. While not a traditional empire with centralized authority, the Hutt cartel wielded immense influence over galactic trade and underworld activities. Despite their criminal nature, the Hutts often maintained uneasy alliances with the Galactic Republic, the Sith, and other factions, leveraging their power for political and economic gain. The Galactic Republic. The old Galactic Republic was the primary galactic government for over 24,000 years, founded around 25,053 years before the Battle of Yavin. It united thousands of star systems under a democratic senate that sought peace, law, and order across the galaxy. The Republic was guided by principles of diplomacy and cooperation, with the Galactic Senate representing countless member worlds. It relied heavily on the Jedi Order as peacekeepers and guardians of justice. Over millennia, the Republic expanded its reach, facing numerous challenges including wars, corruption, and internal political strife. This included the Great Hyperspace War in 5000 BBY, which was initiated by the Dark Lord Naga Sato. One of the most important reforms was the Ruusan Reformation in 1000 BBY after the New Sith Wars and the Battle of Ruusan. This reorganization aimed to strengthen the Republic's governance, improve military command, and address corruption within the Senate. The Ruusan Reformation laid the groundwork for a more centralized and efficient republic by increasing the political power of the Jedi as military leaders of the Reformed Republic. Mandalorian Crusaders. The Mandalorian Crusaders were an ancient warrior faction that emerged around 4000 BBY during the Old Republic era. They were a militant group of Mandalorians, originally led by Mandalore the Indomitable, who sought glory through warfare and conquest. Rooted in a strict warrior code, the Crusaders believed battle was the highest expression of honor and strength. Their goal was not political domination, but personal and cultural greatness through continual war, especially against worthy enemies. The Crusaders were primarily composed of Taung, the original Mandalorian species, and later included humans and other races who adopted the Mandalorian way of life. They launched numerous campaigns across the Outer Rim, raiding and conquering planets. One of their most notable campaigns was the Great Sith War, where Mandalore the Indomitable allied with Exar Kun, the Dark Lord of the Sith. After the war, the Mandalorians were nearly destroyed, but under Mandalore the Ultimate, they rebuilt and reformed into a larger, more diverse force, setting the stage for the Mandalorian Wars against the Republic decades later. The Revanchists. The Revanchists were a breakaway faction of Jedi who rose during the Mandalorian Wars around 3976 BBY. Led by the charismatic Jedi Knight Revan, the Revanchists believed the Jedi Order could no longer remain passive while the Mandalorians devastated the Outer Rim. Defying the Jedi Council's policy of non-intervention, Revan and his followers rallied Republic forces and independent Jedi to join the war effort. Their movement quickly gained momentum as Revan proved to be a brilliant military strategist, turning the tide of the war in the Republic's favor. Prominent members included Malak, Revan's close ally and future Sith Lord, and Mitra Surik, later known as the Jedi Exile. Though the Revanchists helped defeat the Mandalorians at the Battle of Malachor V, their campaign came at a cost. Revan and Malak, exposed to dark side influences during the war, eventually fell to the dark side. They disappeared into unknown space and returned as Sith Lords, declaring war on the Republic. The Sith Empire of Darth Revan and Darth Malak. After the Mandalorian Wars ended in 3960 BBY, Jedi heroes Revan and Malak vanished into unknown space. There they encountered the remnants of the ancient Sith Empire and fell to the dark side, returning as Dark Lords of the Sith. They founded a new Sith Empire in secret, using hidden fleets and ancient technology salvaged from ancient Sith worlds, and returned to the galaxy by 3959 BBY. Their goal wasn't mere conquest. It was to prepare the galaxy for an even greater threat they had discovered in deep space. Emperor Vitiate. Revan declared himself Dark Lord of the Sith, with Malak as his apprentice. But unlike previous Sith regimes, Revan's empire was highly strategic and efficient. He conscripted fallen Jedi, war veterans, and even former Republic officers, building a disciplined and loyal military. In 3956, before the Battle of Yavin, Revan launched the Jedi Civil War, striking deep into the Republic. His forces were powerful, and many in the Outer Rim fell under his control. But during a Jedi-led strike, Malak betrayed Revan, firing on his flagship and seizing control of the Empire for himself. Revan survived, captured by the Jedi, and was redeemed by the Republic. He eventually regained his memories and defeated Malak aboard the Starforge in 3956 BBY, ending the Sith Empire's reign. The Sith Triumvirate. After the fall of Darth Malak and the collapse of Revan's Sith Empire in 3956 BBY, the remnants of the Sith regrouped into a darker, more secretive faction, the Sith Triumvirate. This new Sith organization was led by three Dark Lords: Darth Traya, the manipulative philosopher of betrayal; Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger, who consumed life through the Force; Darth Sion, the Lord of Pain, whose body was held together by sheer will and hatred. Together they formed the Sith Triumvirate, based in the shadowy ruins of Malachor V on the ancient Trayus Academy. Unlike previous Sith empires, the Triumvirate operated from the shadows. Their goal was not galactic conquest, but the total eradication of the Jedi Order. They hunted Jedi in secret, orchestrating the first Jedi purge that nearly drove the Jedi to extinction around 3954 BBY. Eventually, the Triumvirate fractured from within. Darth Traya was betrayed by her former apprentices, Darth Nihilus and Darth Sion. They stripped her of her Force powers and exiled her. However, all three were eventually confronted and destroyed by Mitra Surik, the Jedi Exile, ending the Triumvirate's reign. The Reconstituted Sith Empire. The Reconstituted Sith Empire was a powerful Sith faction, founded in 4980 BBY by the ancient Sith Lord Darth Vitiate, later known as Emperor Valkorion. It rose from the ashes of the original Sith Empire, which was destroyed in the Great Hyperspace War around 5000 BBY. Vitiate gathered the remaining Sith Lords on Nathema and performed a dark ritual, killing all of them and draining the planet of its force. This ritual granted Vitiate immortality and allowed him to relocate to Dromund Kaas, where he rebuilt Sith society in secret over a millennium. He declared himself emperor and established a militarized, authoritarian empire ruled by a Sith aristocracy devoted to conquest and the dark side. In 3681 BBY, the reconstituted Sith Empire launched a massive surprise invasion of the Republic, beginning the Great Galactic War. Over nearly 3 decades of brutal conflict, the Empire seized many Outer Rim worlds and inflicted heavy losses. The war ended with the Treaty of Coruscant in 3653 BBY, which allowed the Sith to control half the galaxy, while the Republic reeled from internal instability and occupation. Unlike earlier Sith regimes, this empire was highly organized, with a central government, economy, and military hierarchy, all under the absolute rule of the Sith Emperor. Its Sith Lords vied for power within the framework of the Dark Council, but all served the Emperor's long-term plan to drain the life from the galaxy itself. The reconstituted Sith Empire persisted for centuries, eventually fractured by internal conflict, rebellion, and the Emperor's own hidden agendas. The Hapes Consortium. The Hapes Consortium is a powerful, isolationist star nation located in the Hapes cluster, formed around circa 4000 BBY. It originated from the descendants of the Laurel Raiders, a notorious pirate group who fled into the cluster after the Republic cracked down on their operations. Cut off from the wider galaxy by treacherous hyperspace routes, the consortium developed in isolation for over 3,000 years. It became a wealthy, matriarchal monarchy ruled by the Queen Mother, with women dominating its political and military leadership. Hapes maintained a powerful fleet, strict traditions, and a reputation for internal intrigue. Its capital, Hapes, is known for its splendor, while its people value elegance, secrecy, and discipline. In 8 ABY, Queen Mother Ta'a Chume proposed a political marriage between her son Isolde and Leia Organa, drawing the Hapes Consortium into galactic politics. Leia declined, but it led to long-term diplomatic ties with the New Republic. Eventually, Tenel Ka-Jo, a Jedi and daughter of Isolde, became Queen Mother. Under her rule, Hapes became more open while remaining fiercely independent. The Chiss Ascendancy. The Chiss Ascendancy is a sovereign, isolationist civilization located in the unknown regions, far from the influence of the Galactic Republic or the Sith. Its people, the Chiss, are a near-human species known for their blue skin, red eyes, and disciplined, logical culture. The Ascendancy is governed by a meritocratic oligarchy composed of 9 ruling families. It values order, strategy, and loyalty, and distrusts unnecessary aggression, favoring defense and deterrence over conquest. Based on the icy world of Shilla, the Chiss developed advanced technology and formidable starships, but remained hidden from the wider galaxy due to the treacherous conditions of the unknown regions and their strict policy of non-intervention. One of the most famous Chiss in galactic history is Mithra Nerodo, better known as Grand Admiral Thrawn. Originally an officer in the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet, Thrawn was exiled, officially for reckless action, though in reality it was a calculated move to engage threats to the Ascendancy beyond its borders. Thrawn later rose through the ranks of the Galactic Empire, applying Chiss strategic principles to devastating effect. Despite serving the Empire, his true loyalty arguably remained with the Ascendancy and its long-term survival. The Eternal Empire. The Eternal Empire was a dominant civilization that rose around 3,636 BBY in the unknown regions, built on the advanced world of Zakuul. It was ruled by Emperor Valkorion, who was secretly Vitiate, the ancient Sith Emperor, reborn in a new identity. Valkorion rejected the Sith and Jedi alike, forging a new philosophy and uniting Zakuul under a vision of order and strength. His children, Arkan, Thexan, and Valen, were powerful Force users raised to be heirs, but their family was fractured by jealousy and manipulation. Thexan died at Arkan's hand during a moment of conflict, setting Arkan on a path of vengeance. After Valkorion's mysterious death, Arkan seized control, launching the Eternal War and conquering both the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic, but his rule was marked by brutality and instability. Valen later overthrew Arkan, who had stretched the Empire to its limits. As Empress, she was arguably more powerful, but also showed less restraint than him, which weakened the Empire. The Eternal Empire ultimately collapsed around 3,630 years. Before the Battle of Yavin, after being defeated by the Outlander, an alliance commander who united the galaxy's factions and ended Zakuul's reign.